Ba 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 bum ba 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 bum ba 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 boom ba 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 boom. I've got a shadow. Ba 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 boom. A shadow cast from the firelight. Ba 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 boom. I've got a shadow cast from the firelight. Oh yes, it's nice. Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to another streaming episode. I'm doing something pretty amazing right now. There's several things going on, right? Like, check out that shadow, dude. And look at that shadow. Now I have a shadow from the purple light in there, and the portal is putting off a purple light. Whoa! Like, it just looks amazing, right? This is rethinking voxels. This is a baller shader pack or shader for Java. You can't do this. You can't do this in Bedrock. No. This is Java exclusive. Exclusively Java. And what makes it possible is AMD's new driver. I mean, I wonder if you can do it in with NVIDIA cards. Maybe. Can you do DLSS in Java in Bedrock? Because you can do it with AMD. You can do it. And it's great, right? Look at this. It's great. It's fantastic. All right. The entity doesn't cast shadows, but it could if I wanted. It's supposed to take a big hit. Let's see what happens, right? Let's see what happens. Options. Entity shadows on. Da 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 dum. Let's see what happens. Da 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 da. I don't even know if I'm going. It says I am. But am I really? Is it really happening? Okay, there. Now I've got entity shadows. The hit to my frames per second, let me see, is not that bad, but we're in here. Wait till I'm like someplace with insane numbers of entities. Yeah, it has entity shadows now, but at what cost? And then off in the distance, that looks kind of funny. Flickering, if you will. But yeah, okay. Yeah, I didn't go to the gym today. I was feeling pretty tired. Like on the verge of a headache. And I don't know why. Because I slept a long time yesterday. I went to the gym. Went back to the gym after like a week and a half of not going because of my trip down to the trip. So yeah, I fell off the saddle and I'm like exhausted. I went back on yesterday and I found out if I don't smoke weed before I go to the gym, I can work out a lot better. Don't ask me how I know this. But yeah. So that's an important thing. Important point to note for me. Okay, I've got entity shadows on. And the entities indeed have shadows. I don't know how much of a hit I'm taking. Probably a pretty significant hit. I'm looking at like a frame rate of like, with fluid motion frames, I'm hitting like 100. But like, I don't know what it would be like without fluid motion frames. If it would be significantly worse. I don't know. So, and then I don't know if it translates to encoding onto OBS. Is OBS taking a picture of what the game sees, or is OBS taking a picture of what's displayed? If it's being what's displayed, yeah, dude, I'm filling up its frames with fake frames. But if it's taking what the game sees, the game doesn't see the fake frames. So, like, is it getting half as much? I don't know. We'll see. Fake frames. They're real frames, man. They're real to me. Alright. So yeah, it's I want to go digging. Just cause like I'm tired of working on that village. You know? It's Minecraft after all. And I went mining. I went way down there and had a pretty good adventure. How much food do I have? Let's get more food and torches before I do this. Do you realize what you're saying? Yes, I do. So yeah, like I came also to like gab about what's happening. Like so much is happening. So on this underneath, I don't know how many people know this. I mean, it's not like it's secret knowledge, but like people might miss it. But today Jack Smith submitted a big fat like book report basically of what he's been doing with this investigation and where he expects for this thing to go. And he submitted it to the judge. So now the judge has it. And it's under seal, which means we don't get to see it because the information inside could be damaging to certain people. So it's under seal. So the judge, look at that shadow, dude. It's just amazing. So it's, hey, what's up? Dude, what are you doing up at 2 in the morning on a school night? Hey, I'm looking at fuzzy HB contortion. Fizzy HB contortion. Fizzy HB contortion. What does that even stand for? What does HB stand for? Anyways, you're up on a school night at 2 in the morning. That's absurd. You can't be doing that. I was just talking about how much sleep I need. And you're up in the morning at 2 in the morning on a school night? No way. Go to bed, Mr. or Mrs. Miss. Go to bed. Don't be up on a school night. I'm talking about U.S. politics right now. I don't know how interested you are in U.S. politics. But yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Oh yeah, Jack Smith released like a book report to the judge. So the judge is going to review it, and if the judge okays it, Jack Smith also wrote a redacted version of the book report. So that's information he can release without compromising like things. But the judge has to okay it to say that, oh yeah, this won't adversely prejudice the people involved because you've redacted all their names and nobody knows who they are. Oh shit, it just crashed. It crashed. Is it crashing? It's crashing. It crashed over here. So it looks like Minecraft crashed. Let me see if I can close it. Ba-ba. I just did. No, it was the driver that died. Okay, hold on. Close. The driver died. It was too much for the driver. Did the driver reset? I don't know what happened. But hey, so Fizzy HP Contortion says, OMG, TBH, I normally stay up till 4 in the morning. Come on, you can't be a school person then. You're not a kid. Because, like, physics and biology tomorrow, Spanish and French. Yeah, so, like, that's crazy, dude. You can't be doing that. You have to, like, sleep. Especially kids. You have to sleep. It's important that you get your rest. Because especially because you're young, the rest is the part that your brain, like, sorts through all the stimuli it had in the daytime. You gotta give it that space. And by I mean, you're full of energy because you're young, right? Sure. But that doesn't diminish the importance of sleep. It does not diminish the importance of sleep. So, yeah, let's see. Oh shit, now I've got two things going. Okay. I just crashed it trying to... There we go. Now it should be going. Right, now it should be baller. Yes, 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 I see it coming back. It's easier to stay up than wake up, but that denies your brain the opportunity to sort through the information it received throughout the day. And since you're young, a lot of that information is novel. It's new. You have to have a way of processing it. So you got to give your brain time to work through it all. And that's the time when you sleep, that's the time when your body can regenerate itself. And as a young person, not only are you regenerating yourself, you're also growing. So, and developing. Yeah, that's no excuse. That's no excuse. You ought to give yourself ample time to sleep and rest and not stay up late at night. You should go to bed, is what I'm saying. Go rest. Go sleep before school. Physics and French and Spanish and biology, all that's important. So well, so far, right? So far, but you know it goes higher. And you got to have a strong base before you can go higher. It's got to be like built into you. So it's important. Even if you're doing good, you still need to rest. So anyways, enough berating. I need to go mining. I was gonna go get stuff. So what was I talking about? Oh yeah, the book report. And they're gonna release the redacted version very, very soon, which is fantastic. Fantastic because, you know, it's not like they timed it this way. They weren't like, oh, I gotta like do this right now at this timing because it'll be the worst timing for Donald Trump. No, they didn't time it that way. It only delayed so long because Donald Trump has continually delayed the report or the trial, so that it just happens to fall around this time. The court doesn't set its schedule according to the political calendar. It's independent of the political calendar. It doesn't care. It doesn't even consider what's going on in the political world. Because its question is not about politics, it's about justice. So then, you fizzy HB contortion said, I'm a good student. I am pretty good at science and maths. End of year exam, maths 99% and science 96%. So you're bored. So you should probably be doing independent study. Like, have you even considered what college you're going to attend? What university? Have you even considered? It's important. Right? You should be planning for the future. And to do that, you need to sleep. It keeps coming back to sleep. We're not questioning your academic performance. We're questioning your health. Your well-being. Okay. So then, I was gonna go get food and then torches for a deep dive. Donald Trump refuses to debate Kamala Harris. He's terrified of her. He's terrified. The attack they were using before the election, or before the debate, was that Kamala was like somehow like stupid. She was dim. She wasn't able to keep up. Right? All these bad images of her. And all of those got dispelled after the debate. It doesn't make sense. Donald was the one who looked like a babbling idiot who couldn't keep up. Donald was the one who looked bad. So now that Donald refuses to debate Kamala Harris. But that's because his strategy doesn't involve winning votes. It involves overthrowing the election. He is planning he and the Republicans are planning on overthrowing the election like they did last time. I'm gonna sleep. Astrophysics. This person likes astrophysics. So what's... Yeah, there's... I mean, that's not my specialty. I know a little... I mean, I have a casual understanding of astrophysics. It's probably not even right. Like, I don't have any kind of background whatsoever. But just the stuff I read every once in a while. Frame rate death. Oh, you know what it is? It's the entity shadows. Let me turn off entity shadows. It's killing my frame rate. Yeah, buddy, that helps a lot. It's those entity shadows that were killing it. Oh yeah, I should make models here. Social models. Of course, that's what I was doing last time. It wasn't the Minecraft I was playing, it was making social models. Okay. Fizzy HP Contortion says, my mental health is already down, and no matter what I do, I can't fix it. You've tried sleeping at 10 for like 2 weeks, but it didn't make a difference. What time do you wake up? I mean, like... Why is your mental stuff down? What's going on, dude? Anyways. So that's one bit of news, is that the book report, hopefully the judge approves the redacted version. That means the rest of America gets to learn about the story behind Donald Trump's attempted coup on January 6th. But the other interesting thing is, yeah, but you can watch it in the morning, dude. It's recorded. You can just watch it in the morning. You don't want to. 10 hours sleep is like too much. Try shooting for like 8. I mean, maybe like. So if you wake up at 7 in the morning, you should set your alarm for like. Or you should go to bed around like 11 o'clock at night. Okay, the other funny thing is that the mayor of New York City, Eric Adams, was indicted by the US government for being a foreign agent. He was receiving bribes from Turkey in the form of airline tickets. And I think there was like $10 million involved as well, at least. Probably many more. So that's interesting news, because Eric Adams, nobody likes Eric Adams. Except the police. and Eric Adams, his police force was the force that shot 2 innocent people and friendly fired shot one of their own cops. All for $2.90. The fare that some dude evaded. They were willing to kill someone over $2.90. That's Eric Adams' police force. And he defended them. That's some bullshit, dude. They were gonna execute people for $2.90. Because then at that point, it's not about the money, it's about the message. But since when is Eric Adams the messenger? Anyways, Eric Adams is pretty corrupt, and all the Democrats are telling him to resign, which is in contrast to the Republicans. Because Republicans, whenever one of their dudes gets indicted, they rally around him. They said, yeah, this criminal's our criminal. Yeah, so Eric Adams, pretty big criminal. He was working for Turkey. So that's two guys, at least two guys. Turkey's got people all up in our shit, you know? Do you know this? Turkey not only got Eric Adams, Egypt got Bobby Menendez, and Turkey also got Mike Flynn. You know General Flynn? General Mike Flynn? Yeah, that motherfucker. The felon. He's a convicted felon. Mike Flynn's a convicted felon. He was pardoned by Trump, but it doesn't mean that his conviction is gone. It happened. He's a convicted felon, despite the fact that Donald Trump pardoned him. He did what he did. He admitted to it. He lied to the FBI. He was a foreign agent for Turkey. That guy, yeah. And he met a shit ton of times with the Russians. Like, it's pretty shitty that a lot of our dudes are corrupt. Both Republican and Democrats. Let's see. You got 6 hours last night, told your friends, they said that's actually really good. Man, 2 to 4 is not even enough. 6 is barely, 6 is minimum. 6 is minimum. You have to get at least 6 hours of sleep, minimum. Like, of course you can stay up on 2 to 4 hours of sleep, but it's not good, and you can only do it because you're young. You're burning your youth to get that bone or that burst of energy. You're literally burning up your shit for that. It's like no reason. Okay, then you said, have you seen the Trump golf thing? I don't know what Trump golf thing. Like, Trump is a golfer. Oh, that's right. Some guy, like some crazy guy, some Republican white guy tried to assassinate Trump on his own golf course. That's right. And then the Secret Service is saying, well then, you know what? Like, we tried to like secure it, but you don't really let us. And it's your golf is like crazy. Like, why golf here, dude? It's not secure. It would cost a lot of money to secure this place. And is Trump gonna do anything about it? Nah, he's a dick. Fuck Trump. So that's the second time recently that Donald Trump has been like attempted assassination. And both times there were white male Republicans, conservatives. That didn't stop Donald Trump from lying about it and trying to blame it on blame it on the liberals Like every time JD Vance brought it up, he said they tried to kill him. They tried to kill him. Well, who's they? What's this they? It's your guys, dude. It's white male Republicans who tried to do it. It's not like not anybody else. It's white male Republicans trying to kill your own guy. But yeah, they're confusing it. They're lying about it. It's so stupid. Cool. Anyways, so Eric Adams turned out to be a bad guy. We all knew. We all knew he was a bad guy. Nothing new. I forgot wood. I should bring some down here, so I always have it. You are a cat person. Excellent. I'm a cat person. So, jungle log. No, I want to keep my jungle. Keep your jungle. Take the oak. Man, I'm gonna need to get more, chop more trees here pretty soon. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm running my rig on eco mode. That's the other thing. So, and I haven't really noticed any loss in performance. Like maybe if I run, what are those things called? Maybe if I run a benchmark, I can see numbers differences, but in like my actual everyday playing, I don't really know. It's fine. So yeah, I was making social models here. Let's get some. Also, this area I'm cutting is also slime chunk. That's why I cut it out to begin with. To get slime so I can make sticky pistons. Ow. And why? Because I need to make models, man. I'm not even, you know, I'm not joking. Models would be great. I love the light. I like the way the light works. It works so much more realistic now. And that just adds a lot to Minecraft. Because then it gives depth to the atmosphere. I mean, sure, I can run flat light, but it's just not the same, right? It feels more like you're in a cave with when the shadows, with all the shadows and stuff, and the play of light. I don't know why you don't have many viewers. Maybe you could put up like hashtags in the description or something. Maybe would give it more exposure. Man, like, who would I expose? Like, I don't know. I don't know what to do. Like, more exposure. Normally, I would think people just share stuff that they think is cool. And so, like, that's like, yeah. I mean, I don't know what I would even talk about. Politics. Yeah, if you want to look at politics. It does. But what else is going on in the U.S.? The Fox poll today released in Georgia, and the poll said Harris 51, Trump 49. So Donald Trump is losing in Georgia. Harris is winning in Georgia. So we need to change stuff. So important because Georgia is a battleground state, and if you win Georgia, it helps to win the presidency. You don't even have to like be in real time. You can show them afterwards. Right? Cool. Otherwise, I don't get to talk about the cool stuff that I want to talk about. It's U.S. politics. It's so Destiny. What was I saying? Oh, what other cool stuff? Oh yeah, Georgia on my mind. So in Georgia's like an important state. It's a battleground state. And it's really close, right? And it looks like the people are into Harris, and they're not into Donald Trump. It looks like that the majority is into Harris. However, Donald Trump has already corrupted the state. What do I mean by that? I mean, so the last election, 2020, Donald Trump lost the state of Georgia to Biden. Donald Trump literally called up an election official in Georgia, and this election official recorded the call. And on the call, Donald Trump is told he lost the state of Georgia, that they finished counting the votes, and that he had lost the state of Georgia. And Donald Trump told the election official to find enough votes for Donald Trump to win the state of Georgia. And it's recorded. It's not like I'm making this up or it's conjecture or I'm just imagining. There's a recording of it. It's not in dispute. So Donald Trump already tried to overthrow the election in Georgia in 2020. This time, instead of calling after the election's done, this time he's setting it up ahead of time. Yeah, man. Have a good night. Thanks for hanging out. If it's cool, then tell your friends. Okay. So Donald Trump, so last time he tried to do it after the election took place. This time, Donald Trump is going to try to set it up so the state goes his way no matter what, before the election, not after. The way he did this is he made sure that Republicans were the majority on the election board, so that it's 3 Republicans and then two not Republicans, 1 Democrat and 1 independent. That's the election board. The election board is there to certify the vote count of Georgia. They're the ones who are going to certify it. They have to vote on it and then to certify the vote. Okay. Donald Trump or the Republicans, what the Republicans are going to do is they're going to refuse to certify the vote if Donald Trump loses the election in Georgia. They just will refuse to certify it. In other words, Donald Trump has to win the election, or these Republicans will not certify the vote. How do I know this is what they're going to do? Because they already tried it in another state. In Nevada, the same thing happened, but in the primary in this past year. And the Republicans on the election committee refused to certify the election. They had no proof, no evidence of voter fraud. There was no evidence of voter fraud. But that didn't stop them from refusing to certify the election. And the issue got pushed up to the Secretary of State, who demanded that the Republicans certify the election, which they did. But that was a preview of what they're going to do this time. In Georgia, they're going to refuse to certify the election if Donald Trump doesn't win. And I know that they're going to do it. Why? Because when Donald Trump held a rally in Georgia, though I don't know how many, 2 of the 3 Republicans, 2 or 3, or maybe all 3 of them, of the Republican committee members, election committee members, were at Donald Trump's rally. And Donald Trump called them out by name and pointed them out. And they were there to support Donald Trump. So, it's not hard to guess what Donald Trump's play is going to be. He's going to use his Republican election committee officials to refuse to certify the vote if Donald Trump doesn't win the election in Georgia. Like, that's what's going to happen. Mark my words. And it's also going to happen in other states, because there's about I heard there was about 70 officials in place today in around the states who denied the 2020 election. And they're in place today now to block the election. So for sure it's going to happen in Georgia, but there are other states like Nevada, where I think the Republicans are going to refuse to certify the election if Donald Trump doesn't win the state. So if Harris wins Nevada, the Nevadan Republicans will refuse to certify the election. In other words, the Republicans no longer want to play democracy. They want a dictatorship. Today, I saw a recording. I should have kept it. I can probably go back and snag it before it's too late. Donald Trump praised the Russian military. You know, the military that's invading our ally right now? Russia, the aggressor. Do you remember how the whole thing started? Ukraine gained independence in 1991 when the collapse of the USSR. Alright. Vladimir Putin comes to power in around 2000. He has this idea of reconstituting the old Soviet Union, which means reconquering all the territories it lost. So yeah, Russia's trying to reconquer. So Ukraine, it took over Belarus through corruption. Lushenko is a puppet of Russia. Doesn't have much freedom to operate because he's in power due to Putin. He's Putin's ally. All right. They tried to do the same thing in Ukraine with the guy named Yanukovych. I think that's his name. Yanukovych was a Russian puppet who obtained power through well, his campaign manager was Paul Manafort. And they ran the Lock Her Up campaign in Ukraine first. And they defeated the candidate the pro-democracy candidate in favor of the Russian puppet using this technique. He would do it again. Paul Manafort would do it again in the United States in 2016, and it worked then too. Anyways, the Ukrainians got sick of having a Russian puppet for a president that was dragging them back into Russia. So they staged a revolution. They refused to they camped out in front of the presidential building and refused to leave. In the dead of winter, dude, they did this in the dead of winter. It was fucking freezing. They literally had a tower made of ice that they built. Of ice, dude, because like it was fucking cold, and they stayed out there the entire time. The Lushenko shot at them with live bullets and snipers and killed some of them. Like it was fucking awful, but they persevered, and eventually the Russian puppet fled. Right, that was like 2014, I think. And then right after the Russian puppet fled. Look at this creeper. What are you doing here, creeper? Is it that dark? Right after the Russian puppet fled, Russia invaded Crimea and took Crimea. So that's when the war started. Oh yeah, I think they took eastern Ukraine too. At that time. But at that time Ukraine had nothing. It had like shitty weapons. It had like no real like army. So the Russians rolled over the Ukrainians back then. Because the Ukrainians had nothing. But anyways. Oh yeah, Ukraine. Okay. Then Donald Trump took power. Like that was during Obama's term, right? Then Trump took power, and then Trump tried to extort so Zelensky became president of Ukraine, and Zelensky he knew that Russia was gonna attack, like either attack the rest of the country, or Russia wanted Zelensky to give up to Russia and just be corrupt. That was like the deal. Either give in to our corruption, or Russia's gonna invade you to Ukraine. So Ukraine, keep digging, dude, keep digging. So this time, like Ukraine is looking at Russia real scary, like because the terms are either given to the corruption or Russia's gonna invade you. So Zelensky was like, dude, I need defensive weapons. If I don't get defensive weapons, Russia's gonna roll us like they did in 2014. We need the defensive weapons. And Donald Trump was the president then. And Donald Trump refused to give the weapons to Ukraine unless Ukraine helped Donald Trump in the US presidential election against Joe Biden. And Zelensky refused to get involved. That's the infamous quid pro quo recording. Do they have a recording of it? No recording. the infamous quid pro quo that Donald Trump had with Zelensky. And that's why Donald Trump got impeached. But the Republicans saved him. Ha ha ha. So Donald Trump knew that he couldn't help Zelensky because Putin wanted to pressure Zelensky into giving up. Putin did not want to invade Ukraine. Invasion and occupation is real hard, and it looks real bad, right? It looks bad, and it takes a lot of your own country's energy. It's far easier for Russia to use corruption instead of the army, instead of force. If Putin can corrupt the government of Ukraine, then that's like the same thing as having the country in your possession. It's like the same thing, right? You can do whatever you want with that country as long as you control the government. So that's what Russia would have preferred, is if they could just corrupt Ukraine and take away its freedom that way. But the Ukraine refused to be corrupted. It wouldn't be corrupted. So once Biden got into office, Biden was committed to helping Ukraine. So Putin had no choice but to invade. If he wanted Ukraine, he had to invade. That was the only way he was going to obtain Ukraine. It was not going to be corrupted. He had to invade. And so he did. He invaded while Biden was president, and before the West could deliver too many arms to Ukraine, Russia invaded. But this time, Russia thought they were going to roll over the Ukrainians like they did the last time. They didn't realize that Ukraine had stockpiled Western weapons to defend themselves, and they had been training. They had been training for another invasion. So Russia invaded again, and expected the Ukrainians to roll over, but the Ukrainians did not. The Ukrainians did not roll over. The Ukrainians repelled like a huge part of the invasion. They had not much of a chance in eastern Ukraine, but they really defended the rest of the country, the western Ukraine, and they defended their capital. Russia launched a column from Belarus. Remember how Belarus was corrupted by Russia already? Belarus was used as a staging area for Russia to launch an attack on the capital, Kyiv. And they thought they could just roll in, and instead they got decimated. I don't know if they ever made it to Kyiv. I don't think they ever made it to Kyiv. They didn't even make it. They tried to airdrop onto airports and take over the airports, and they were repelled. They lost like tons of their best guys in a failed attempt to take over Ukrainian airports. It was crazy. It was crazy. So now we're here. Russia has failed to make significant advancements into Ukraine since the war started. It's been like a stalemate. Well, no, not a stalemate. Ukraine invaded Russia. Ukraine did a counter invasion of Russia. And that's where we're at right now. So the way it is that Donald Trump is on Team Russia, and Biden Harris is on Team Democracy, Team Ukraine. So Ukraine's a democracy. That's why we want to defend it, because they're democracy, whereas Russia represents oligarchy, dictatorship. And we know that Donald Trump wants to be a dictator. So that's why Donald Trump favors Russia and disfavors other democracies. And he favors North Korea. And he favors China. Because those are all authoritarian governments. And he would be the authority. So he'd have all the power, Donald Trump. So Donald Trump wants Ukraine to lose the war. He was asked straight up by a reporter if he wanted Ukraine... No, at the debate. He was asked straight up at the debate. 2 times! 2 times he was asked, do you want Ukraine to win the war? And Donald Trump would not answer. He refused to say. He answered something different than Ukraine wins the war. He would not say it. He never, ever talks bad about Russia. That's Donald Trump, right? So you can tell Donald Trump is on Team Russia. So if you're on Team Russia, you're with Donald Trump. So if you're with the Americans, then you're with Harris. I mean, there's no other way about it. There's no other 2 ways about it. Right. Typical of Trump supporters is that they don't really put stock into American law. Trump supporters are pretty... They don't abide by American law. So the criminal convictions of Donald Trump and the civil convictions of Donald Trump don't really weigh heavily on their conscience, because they don't put any weight in the American justice system or the American laws. This is your typical Trump supporter. This is what they believe necessarily. It's necessary that they don't believe in American law, because if they did believe in American law, then they couldn't support a criminal who defies American law. And Donald Trump is a criminal according to American law. So you have to be able to disregard American law and the American justice system in order to support Donald Trump. And Russia is also a country that disregards law. Like the only law in Russia is to control the people. The rich and powerful are totally immune from consequences in Russia. And that's what Donald Trump wants. He wants to act with impunity. He wants to be able to grab them by the pussy because he's a superstar, quote, quote. Because he's a star. And when you're a star, they let you do it. Shit. He really believes that. He really believes it. He really, really believes it. Donald Trump is a bad person. Why, yes, I want the iron. yeah, it's pretty enlightening to watch the way the press works to make this thing a horse race. To make it look like it's close between Donald Trump and Harris, when I don't think it's gonna be close. I think Harris is gonna blow Donald Trump out of the water. I don't think that every Republican is a MAGA. I'm hoping they recognize January 6th for what it is. A coup attempt. So Oregon, the state of Oregon, has this Proposition 118, which is put a sales tax, not sales tax, put a tax on corporations that make more than $25 million in revenue, a 3% tax, and then redistribute that money into the state via a one-time, a yearly bonus of like $1,600. And I think about that. I'm like, I look at California and I think California is pretty expensive. And California has this, California has a lot of taxes. But California makes a shit ton of money. So, like, is it all that bad? Like, this is a pretty local issue specific to Oregon. But it's an issue I'm thinking about, like, and really, what are the corporate, like, I'm more concerned about the people, like, that's one way I can look at it, right? One way I can look at it is, how is this going to affect the family that runs the food truck down the street, right? There's these families, and they have food carts, and they're renting space from another business in order to park their food truck. And I'm like, do they make $25 million in revenue a year? Because those guys work their asses off, right? Those guys in the food carts, it's not comfortable to sit in a food cart. It's pretty fucking uncomfortable. So they're not sitting there chilling in the lap of luxury or anything. And but they produce really, really good food, right? They produce something of value, food, really good food, and often food you can't get anywhere else, or maybe you can, but it's not as good. I don't know, right? Food trucks provide a really good service, and that's like that's like a small business, guy. That's like fucking work, because all sorts of things can go wrong with your food cart, with your food truck. You have all these expenses, and you can't necessarily hire someone to do it for you, like maybe, but like usually it's a family that runs it. It's the whole family. So I'm like, how would Prop 118 affect a family that runs a food cart? Is it gonna hurt them? And I'm like, I don't think so, man. Maybe they might get their plates or something from a corporation that makes more than 25 million, but those corporations aren't going to be based in Oregon. They're going to be based somewhere else. It's almost like, so they won't be affected by this tax because they won't be based. Only Oregon-based corporations would have to pay this. That might incentivize corporations to leave the state of Oregon But yeah, aren't most corporations based in Delaware anyways, due to tax laws? I don't know. Man, dig this light. I just dig this light. Minecraft makes this mod makes it look so good. There used to be a setting I can use to see the light levels, but I don't know if I don't think it works anymore. So yeah, I'm inclined to support Measure 118. It's wealth redistribution from the top back down to the bottom. I'm inclined to support it. I mean, like, Oregon kind of has something like that in the form of the kicker. Like, in Oregon, if the government doesn't spend all the money it's collected in taxes every year, it can't just keep it. Instead, it has to kick it back to the taxpayers in the form of a rebate. And it doesn't happen every year, but it's when it does happen, it's pretty nice. Like, oh, here's a chunk of change I wasn't expecting. Like, see, look at, I'm not getting the light levels. Let me check the settings. Yeah, hold spider eye. It's not happening, dude. I don't see light levels. So, no. I don't know why, but no longer. Anyway, social models. So yeah, I'm in favor of wealth redistribution in general, because I understand that the United States has a high level of wealth inequality. So for balance, yes, I'm all about wealth redistribution. So I think $1,600 for a family that works in a food truck would help them out. It can maybe pay for repairs. It can maybe get them an upgrade. It can pay for paper plates or something for a year. Who knows? But it's going to be put back into the economy. Like, a rich person getting that rebate is going to be like, oh, another monthly payment to my stock portfolio. And then boom, it's gone. It doesn't circulate in the local economy. It doesn't produce local value. It doesn't stimulate the local economy. If you give it to a rich person. You give it to a poor person, that shit is spent. It's gone already. And what does that mean? It's spent? It doesn't just disappear, dude. It means it becomes income in someone else's economy. And then they get to spend it. Boom. Now you fucking doubled your the use of money. You pay out $1,600 one time, but it is used twice. At least. So you generated $3,600 or $3,200 worth of economic activity. You got double the activity out of one set of money. That same money that you give to a rich person goes into a stock portfolio and is never used. It's never circulated in the local economy. It goes to some fucking stockbroker dude who banks it up with the ones and zeros in his like digital bank account, and it becomes a fucking decimal place or something. So yeah, I think I'm inclined to vote for Measure 118. That's something you got to think about. The velocity of money. That's an economic term. The velocity of money refers to how many times a dollar is used in the economy. How fast it exchange, how much it gets exchanged. If you give $1 to a rich person, the velocity of money will be 0, because that rich person isn't going to spend it. They're going to put it in the bank, and it'll turn it and turns it in, and yeah, it's only good as capital, which is not good for the economy. You give that dollar to a poor person, they immediately spend it on whatever. Food, shelter, clothing. That dollar, in turn, if that person, so if that poor person gives that dollar that they just got to a food vendor, that food vendor is not rich either. They wouldn't be a food vendor if they were rich. So that food vendor is gonna fucking spend that dollar immediately. And that dollar is going to go to what? More food? Then that, fine, it goes to buying more food. Alright, and that means that goes to like a farmer. Are farmers rich? Hell no. That money is spent instantly. And that goes to like, whatever, dude, to another farmer, to the ranch hand working the ranch. And is that ranch hand rich? Hell no. They're going to spend their money instantly. Like, where are they going to spend it at? Let's imagine they're going to spend it at the farmer's market, where they bought a brand new leather belt because their old one was breaking. Do you think that leather worker at the farmer's market is rich? Hell no. They're going to spend that dollar immediately. So you can see that the velocity of money is much higher when given to like put at the bottom of the economy instead of the top of the economy. It makes no sense to give rich people money. 0 cents. It is the stupidest thing ever to give rich people money. If you're gonna give anybody money, you give the poorest people money, because they're the ones who are gonna spend it the quickest, and then put behind that money inertia. Put that behind that money, you're gonna put some velocity behind it. So that $1 you give the poor person gets used in the economy 7-8 times. I think what they said was like 4 times on average. Man, that's some fucking speed. You get $5 worth of economic activity for every $1 you give a poor person. You get $0 of economic activity for every $1 you give a rich person, because they just bank it, or they put it in a stock, which is like a casino basically for rich people. Yeah, I'm inclined to vote for Measure 118. So in Nevada, they're voting on question 3. What's question 3? Question 3 is a 2-parter. It does open primaries, which means anybody can vote for anybody. You don't have to belong to a political party. And it implements ranked choice voting. So, I am all about ranked choice voting. I think ranked choice voting is fantastic. What is ranked choice voting? Ranked choice voting is a way of voting for who you really want to, without endangering your political beliefs. So it's a way of increasing voter power. You give more power to the voters when you do ranked choice voting. So what do I mean? So currently, the United States uses an antiquated voting method called first past the post, which means, or plurality, which means whoever has the most votes wins, and every person gets 1 vote. So on the surface it sounds, oh yeah, that sounds like really fair, right? But Duviger's law Duviger's law. This guy named Duviger. I forget exactly. You know, pardon me. I'm sorry. I forget the exact everything of it. The name of it. Duviger, I think is his name. Duviger. D-U-V. Duviger. This guy named Duviger came up with the idea, with the reasoning that in any first past the post, winner take all system, it will naturally devolve into two parties, only two. Because you're incentivized on getting the most votes. And so you'll take whatever position you can, the broadest position you can, in order to get the most votes. You're trying to get the broadest position. Okay, so it naturally devolves to two parties. Because if you don't take one position, you have to naturally take the other position to make yourself distinct. Okay, so that means you don't care about nuance so much as you care about getting as many people on board on the same time. Okay, that's first past the post. Now, if you have a third party in this naturally two-party system, what happens is that third party will take away votes from whatever party it's closest to. So you can agree with this other party 99%, but diverge from 1%. And then the voters on that side will end up splitting their vote between the two very similar parties. That means the party least similar doesn't get divided, and that means by dividing, and they get helped. They get more of the vote in proportion. So you, by voting third party in a first past the post system, you inadvertently end up helping the opposite ideology, the opposite ideas of what you want. And that sucks, right? That means that takes away any possibility of having a third party, because third parties end up only helping the side you like the least. So ranked choice voting is a way of getting around this. Ranked choice voting instead of just voting, so if you have multiple people, instead of just voting for one of the multiple people, you get to rank the choices. So this is my first choice, this is my second choice, this is my third choice, and I will never ever vote for this person. What that means is you can and so the way that the ranked choice voting works is that you can vote for whoever you want, right? You rank them. But the thing is that you have to come to a winner eventually, and you want the winner to be the person that the candidate that the most people are okay with. Like they may not be your first choice, but they're not bad type of scenario. So the person who wins is the person who has like the most the most approval. So in this way, you can vote for, if your number one choice does not become the winner, because you're looking at whoever gets 50% plus 1 first. Whoever gets there first is the winner of the election. You got to come to a winner. Okay. So if your number one choice is not the winner, after the first round, if nobody has 50%, then whoever is the lowest, the last place, whoever is the last place of the number ones is dropped. You drop that person. But those votes for that person are not thrown out. Instead, whoever you marked as number 2, that's where your vote moves to. So now we're going to redo the election, but instead of voting for your number 1 guy, now you're voting for your number 2 guy. And then we're going to see, anybody have 50% yet? If yes, then we have a winner. If no, then we eliminate the next lowest person. Right? Do you see how that works? And then by that point, you should for sure have have a over 50% winner. That's how it works. That way you can vote for who you really want without helping the person you really hate. Because you will never ever vote for the person you really hate. You can only help the people you want to help. I dig it, dude. I dig that question. So for Nevada, for question 3, you should vote yes. Voting yes will increase the power of the voter. That's what it does. Right now, the power is concentrated in the two political parties, the Democrats and the Republicans. If you want to get away from that, if you want to and give yourself more power, the way you do that is you give yourself more votes. The power of your vote, and you increase the power of your vote through ranked choice voting. That way you can vote for who you really want. And that means political parties can no longer just say, hey, we're going to put the broadest set of ideas out there. Now, you actually have to pay attention to factions. You have to actually pay attention. People can be hyper specific about their issue, and it won't necessarily destroy like the broader picture. It's a good idea. You guys should do it. Nevada, you should do it. For sure. For sure. So that's 2. This pickaxe is getting low. Getting real low. Okay, what else is going on today? What else is going on today? Oh, Biden's war. Biden's proxy war with Iran. So Biden's in a proxy war with Iran. Like, you know, a proxy war by definition is a war that isn't declared and isn't fought directly. That's the nature of a proxy war. So right now the United States is in a proxy war with Iran. Via Israel. Israel is attacking Iran on behalf of the United States. Now the United States makes it look like it's trying to stop the war, but it's not. It's not. The United States government continues to supply Israel with weapons. So it's not like Israel's doing anything that the United States disapproves of. Now, no, of course I'm not saying that the United States literally controls Israel. No, they're a proxy. We don't literally control them. However, we do have control of their weapons supply, which dictates the speed at which they conduct operations. And those weapons supplies have been unhindered, which means the Israelis can conduct military strikes as fast as they want to. The United States does not stop them. So yeah, you can blame the Israeli genocide of the Palestinian people on the Americans. You can do that. The American government under Joe Biden is facilitating the genocide. Yes. It's funny that the World Court won't say anything about it. Why would you say that, Pogo Kiddo? Why would you even bring that up? Because you have to be consistent. If it's true all the way through. If it's wrong for Russia to invade Ukraine to take Ukrainian land, it's also wrong for Israel to invade Palestine to take Palestinian land. I can't wander too far away from this point because otherwise slimes will spawn. It used to be funny, and now it's not. When I was like poor for slime balls, it was funny. Now it's just annoying. I may have to build some countermeasures. Look it up there too. What are you doing? So yeah, make no mistake, this is Biden's war. Biden said he's a Zionist, and this is what Zionists do. What else is going on? The hurricane. Florida, like the South is about to get hit by a huge hurricane. And they even closed Waffle House, which means I think it's real bad. Alright, I gotta switch it up because this one's about to break. What else is going on? Clay Higgins. Clay Higgins is a U.S. representative, a politician in the House of Representatives. And he tweeted some racist ass shit about the Haitians. It was totally racist. It wasn't even trying to hide the racism. It was so bad. Like, yeah, Clay Higgins is a fucking racist. Which is, I suspect, why his voters put him into office. Because he's racist. Which means they're racist too. But, so the Democrats try to censure Clay Higgins. Censure is to like say you did something bad. And we disavow your bad thing. We denounce the bad thing you did. And the Republicans blocked it. Steve Scalise blocked it, wouldn't bring it up for a vote, and to the press, Speaker Mike Johnson defended the racism. So yeah, I mean it was straight up racist against the Haitians. The Haitians are there legally. They're legal residents, legal immigrants. And both Donald Trump and J.D. Vance, and now apparently the Republicans, are trying to create racial hatred based on lies toward the Haitians. By lying about stealing and eating pets. And lying about crime. So yeah, that happened today. That happened. So, I think the biggest thing I found today was a TikTok video by a Yale law student, grad student. And in this video, the young woman details how Donald Trump is going to perform the coup, his second coup. How it's going to happen. Oh, I was already telling you, right? I was already telling you about it. So Donald Trump is going to try to set up the so Donald Trump's goal is to delay the certification of the election, just like he tried to do the first time, right? He attacked the Capitol the first time in an attempt to get them to delay the certification of the vote. So, and then why would Donald Trump want to do that? Because then the vote is moved from the people to the House of Representatives. If they don't certify the vote on January 6th, the vote moves to the House of Representatives to be determined. And they don't just have representatives vote on it. What they do is they have states. Each state gets one vote. And who makes that vote? Who determines what what vote your state is going to be? That's determined by your legislature. So if you look at the all 50 United States, you find that the Republicans have control of, I think, 24 legislatures, and the Democrats have control of something like 19 legislatures. So that means if it goes to the House of Representatives, if they don't certify the vote on January 6th, it's going to go to the House of Representatives, and the House of Representatives are in control of the Republicans, and they will select Donald Trump to be the president. Now remember, even though Republicans control the state houses of 24 states, it doesn't mean that they have a majority of the number of people in the United States. Because they control the state houses of states with tiny, tiny populations. So the reason why they're going to do it this way is because they cannot win if you ask the people, Donald Trump will lose the election. So they can't go by the will of the people. They have to overturn the will of the people in order to put Donald Trump into power. So that's their plan. So the way they're going to do it is they're going to stop the vote from being certified. And they're going to try. They have lots of ways of doing it, of stopping the vote from being certified. So I guarantee it, that's what they're going to try to do. So it's important for Harris not only to win the election, not only to win the popular vote, not only to win the Electoral College vote, but to win the Electoral College by so many states that they can't block the certification in all of them. Like, they might be able to stop certification in Georgia. Maybe they'll be able to stop certification in Nevada. But Harris needs to be able to win by so many states that Nevada and Georgia can remain in dispute, because Harris will win anyways. That's what we need to happen. If it doesn't happen, I can tell you right now, I guarantee it, on election night, no matter what, Donald Trump was going to declare himself the winner. No matter what. That's what Donald Trump is going to do. So his whole strategy is to create confusion and uncertainty. So Harris needs to win by so many Electoral College votes that those other states can dispute their own votes. It won't matter. Harris can win without them. Otherwise, if that doesn't happen, if Harris barely beats Donald Trump, then Donald Trump is going to do everything he can to stop the vote from being certified so that it gets kicked to the House of Representatives, where one state, one vote, and Republicans seize power over the democratic process of asking us who the president is. I guarantee it. That is the plan. Come talk to me about it if you need some details or if you're confused about anything. But that's the way it's going to go down. So. Yeah, the United States recently dropped requirements for Israel about human rights abuses in relation to receiving military aid to from the United States. So that means Egypt was the country that bribed Bobby Menendez. Remember, Bobby Menendez was a senator, Democratic senator, who was the chairman of the Foreign Relations Committee. It was his job to make sure that foreign countries were complying with their requirement to abide by human rights, and he was being bribed by Egypt, which is like, you know, a dictatorship, and they're, you know, dictatorships are pretty hard on journalists who represent the truth. Oh yeah, Ken Klippenstein, the reporter, the journalist, released the document, the dossier, the Iranian dossier. Remember Iran? Remember Iran hacked the Trump campaign? They had a file, and they gave it to a bunch of journalists trying to get them to report on it, but the journalists wouldn't do it. They refused to report on it, supposedly because they got duped the last time by the Russian disinformation, the Russian hacking campaign, and they influenced the election that way. So maybe they refused to publish it because they didn't want to be party to foreign interference again, election interference. Or maybe it was because the contents were so boring. Because Ken Klippenstein published the Iranian dossier on Donald Trump, and all it had inside of it was opposition research on J.D. Vance. All the times J.D. Vance said Donald Trump was stupid in the past. He criticized Donald Trump. All the times J.D. Vance criticized Donald Trump. That was the only thing in it. It was like a big nothing burger. Nothing burger. But Elon Musk kicked Ken Klippenstein off of Twitter because of that. The quote free speech guy, which is not true. He's a Nazi. Elon Musk is a Nazi. He's not free speech. He's not pro free speech at all. Like, if you say the word cisgendered, he censors you on his platform. Elon Musk is a terrible human being. He should be taxed into non-existence. Billionaires shouldn't exist in a just world. In a just society. In a just society, there would be 0 billionaires and zero homeless people. In a just society. Alright, hour and a half. That was not too bad. Not too shabby. But no, I'm not dead yet. I'm still here. I'm still here! I'm not dead yet. But death is coming for me. I'm not dead yet, but death is coming for me. What's that statement? Remember death? Any gravel in here I can get rid of? Gravel, Mike Gravel. For my next episode, I will repair my tools. Notice how I don't go mining at Y level 64 to look for diamonds? You notice? Because I need iron more, number one. Number two, it's slower to mine deep slate than it is stone. Number three, I get more stone variety from this level than I do at the deep slate level. Number five, more variety, quicker. Oh, and yeah, and iron. I don't need gold necessarily, but I always need. I don't even need iron. Come on, let's be real here. I got plenty of iron. But oh yeah, that's the other thing. I can turn this stone into like lots of things. I can make stone bricks. I can make smooth stone. I can make redstone components. I can make cobblestone if I want. What can I do with deep slate cobble? Deep slate. Nothing. I can do nothing with it. I can polish it, maybe. I can't make redstone components out of it. I can't make tools out of it. And there's only like deep slate and tuft. That's it. Only two things. Here I get like at least 4. Oh, and there's dirt. 5. I guess there's dirt way down deep, but I don't think so. Anyways, they gotta rethink the way they do like depth in this game. Okay. Well, I got a bunch of materials, at the very least. Whereas I was poor on materials before, now I'm not. I never intended on making a base here. I mean, I kind of did, but like, I didn't think it would get this big. It's not even that big. It's just a few redstone parts. I should make another base somewhere else. Another mining base. Where would I make a mining base? I guess I can make a base over here in the village. In the village! So I'm not so lonely. I laugh, but the problem with the village is that frame rates, man. The frame rate is so bad over here. Farmers working. No, slaves. I forget the name, the lyrics. Anyways, yeah. Vote yes on Prop 118. Vote yes on Nevada Question 3. Oregon 18, Prop 18, vote yes. And Nevada Question 3, vote yes. Okay, I'm done. Peace. Stop.